Okay, as you can see, I've gone ahead and upgraded my computer to SOLIDWORKS 2016 from the Student Edition from SOLIDWORKS website. Strongly recommend doing that. The user interface is really not that much different. It's just that the icons and the screen looks somewhat different. I lost my my template file that I was using, but it still maintained my heads-up display. So I'm going to go ahead and hit New and create a part, and we're going to get started. Again, we're going to create the E-clip, which is a clip that we can probably locally source at a local hardware store. Maybe Home Depot, maybe Lowe's, maybe Ace Hardware, or someplace like that. I do not like that screen. So I always go change mine to white. But as you can see, my heads-up display is still there. And as also you can see, if I expand my feature manager, I have my CamWorks tabs here loaded in for when I'm using CamWorks. For this project, since we're going to locally source the part, we're not going to need CamWorks. So now, using my good friend Pat Haley's tutorial on how to create an E-clip, we're going to get started. So the first thing I want to do is I want to set myself normal to the right plane. So we'll set ourselves normal to the right plane, and then what we need to do is draw 3 concentric circles. So we go to Sketch, create a new sketch, and start drawing the circle. So we'll come over here and draw a circle, come over here, draw another circle, come over here and draw a third circle. Now, as you notice, since we were working with Dragster, we designed in millimeters, so we need to come down here and change our working units to millimeter gram scale. So I'm going to go ahead and change my millimeter gram scale here to that, and now I want to edit those units and make sure I'm at 4 decimal points. At least on one of them I am, so let's go ahead and turn that to 4. Set that here, set that here, and that looks good. So we hit OK. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and dimension the first concentric circle. As I select it, I'll smart dimension it, hopefully. Let's try that again. Alright, we'll get out of that, reset, rebuild, and we'll save our file. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. We'll save it to our hard drive. I have a special place. I'm actually using a different computer, but I did upgrade my other computer to SOLIDWORKS, and it's working great, so I'm really happy with that. So let me go find where I put my stuff. I think it's right here, and it's definitely in Dragster. Oh, there's the old famous axle retainer clips. So we're going to go ahead and say E-clip, and we're going to say part 1, 001, kind of a version freak, so I got to put that in there. So I'll go back to my sketch, edit my sketch, and we'll come in here and start dimensioning it. Okay, it likes that better. So I'm going to key in 2.4 millimeters, hit OK, and then on this outer dimension here, this next dimension, I'm going to come back and I'm going to key in 3.8 millimeters, hit OK, and then on this dimension here, I'm going to go ahead and key in 4.8 millimeters. Okay, so there we are. Let's go ahead and hit check that dimension off. Let's hit our F key to, whoop, that's zoomed way out. Got to figure out what's going on here. I think that looks pretty good actually. We'll just go from there. Alright, save our file. Okay, so that's saved. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to draw a center line. Now, the way I'm going to draw this center line is I'll come up here, still in this sketch. Make sure that you're still in the sketch. When I drew this thing the first time for practice, I wasn't in the same sketch, so it kind of confused me a bit. So I'll start here off this dimension, and I'll just come over, making sure that I'm staying definitely horizontal. I'll click on that, then I'll hit escape, and I'll come back over here, and I'll do another center line, just arbitrarily up to this point. I don't really care where, but I'll smart dimension that. I need to set that to 70 degrees, pretty close at 64, so we'll say 70 degrees. Let's put that in there like that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, let's go ahead and hold on one second here. I think I went too far. Yeah, I did. I should have only gone up to the second one, so that's not a problem. We'll go ahead and check that off. We'll go up here to Trim Entities, hit our Power Trim, and we'll get this last one there and this one right here. I think I'm correct now. It looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and do a rebuild, and looking at what I got and what's on the tutorial, I think we're good. Alright. So, moving right along, what we want to do right now is we're going to do a new command called trim to closest entity. So we're going to go back up to the sketch, right mouse click, make sure we're editing that sketch. We'll zoom up here and we'll get the trim entities. And now what we're going to do is says trim to closest. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trim this line right here. And let's see, I got that one correct? Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to trim this one right here. So I'll go ahead and get that out of there too. So I think that looks correct. It looks like it does to me. We'll accept that. Again, always between each major step, save and rebuild. Rebuild and save. Okay. Now, after that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw some more center lines. So we'll come back over here, back in our sketch. Always stay in that sketch. We'll come over here now and draw some more center lines. We're going to go from here on the center, right on our datum. We're going to come straight up here to that edge, and we're going to click on that. Okay, now hit the escape command, go back to the same one, and I'll do another center line. I'm just going to come down here in space somewhere, pretty much tangent on that one outside circle. Then I'll go up and hit my friend the Smart Dimension command. We accept that, accept this, and we're going to key in 8 degrees. So we key in 8 degrees, and that puts that in at 8 degrees. That looks pretty good. Alright, let's go ahead and check that off. That looks good. So now what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and add lines. So we're going to come up here to the add line command, and we're going to still be in that sketch. Oh, got to rebuild it. That's real quick. Make sure we're still editing that sketch. That's good. We're going to come up here and hit the line command, and we're going to add a line from there to there. Now I know it looks kind of annoying, these green little boxes here. Those are your sketch relations. So I can come up here and go hide, show, and come down here and turn off those sketch relations. I think they're in there somewhere. I turn off my sketch dimensions. That's kind of annoying to me. I can come view, hide, show, and there's sketch dimensions I turned off. Where's that other one I was looking for? Temporary axis, all annotations. I don't want to do that. We'll go with this for now. I think I can survive on this, but I normally do not like seeing those sketch relations. So, oh, there it is. I'm back. I'm blind. Okay, so we got that in. So we're going to check off this one line, and we're going to go back here, and we're going to draw another one. So our next line is going to be right here, and we're going to go from this point to that point. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, what we want to do is we want to go back and trim. So we're going to go back to our trim entities. We can check that off. Go back to trim entities. And what we want to do now is we want to trim this outer line right there. So we'll get rid of it. And let's see, what else do I want to trim out? I think I want to get rid of this guy right there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I got rid of that. Alright, we're starting to see a shape kind of come into place here. Sorry for all the background noise. I'm washing my clothes for work next week, and my Labrador Retriever is chewing on everything he can get his hands on, so forgive me for that. Kind of a little bit of comic relief there, I guess. So now we're going to go to Sketch Fillet, and we're going to select on, let's see what we're going to select. We're going to select on this guy right here, and let's zoom up on that a little bit so we can kind of see it. So we're going to hit this guy right there, and we're going to give it a dimension of, I want to say 0.35 of a millimeter. So we'll select that, and we'll select that again. We'll see if it gets it. Yeah, there it is. You can see it a little bit better. So we said 0.35. Actually, I want to change that. I want to make that actually just 0.3 millimeters. Okay, we hit our tab key, so make sure it gets it. It did. So now let's go ahead and get this guy right there. We'll put him in. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and check this one off here. And now what we want to do is we want to do another sketch fillet. Oh, I forgot to add one more line. That's my bad. So we need to come back here and just go ahead and check that off. Let's go back here and add a line from here to there. Check that off. We'll go back and add us a fillet. And then this one, we're going to say 0.35. Okay. So I'll select this guy, or hit that off and accept it. And then I'll come down here to this point and I'll put that in there. Accept that. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now, looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and accept that. Let's do a rebuild, and of course always we've got to save. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go back to our famous sketch here. We're going to open that up, and we're going to mirror entities, and it says mirror about entities. So I'm going to say mirror about this line here. Actually, that's the entities I want to mirror. Let's go clear that out. We're going to mirror about this guy right there. Okay, so now let's go get the entities to mirror. So we're going to select this guy here, and we're going to select this guy here. Okay, oh, wrong field. Let's clear this out again. I got ahead of myself. Clear this out. Entities to mirror about. It's going to be this center line. Go back to this one here, and make sure that you got copy set. Okay, so we're going to select this guy, and we're going to come around and we're going to get him. We're going to get him, 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 him. And as you can see, it's populating the other side in the gold and yellow color there. Get this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. All right, that looks good. So we'll accept that. So that looks pretty awesome. Okay, so we got our sketch in the way we want. Now, the next key thing that we've got to do is we got to do an extrude. So, again, let's rebuild. Since we did a major operation there, let's save. Let's go back into that sketch just for kicks and grins. And now we're going to do an extrude. So now as we do an extrude, it's going to come out and we're going to set this to mid-plane. So there might be something going on here I'm not real clear on. Let's go ahead and select this. Wow, that extruded it all right. That's actually your temporary view, but it shows it actually extruding it from both directions. So what we can do at this point here, we want to go ahead and give it a depth of 0.25, which would be basically half a millimeter. 0.25, hit the tab key, and we're going to go ahead and accept that. All right, that looks pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and rebuild that. Let's go ahead and save that. Now what we need to do is we need to set up what's called a reference geometry, a mate reference that we're going to use later on. And we will use it later on because when we got to put our axles together, we got to put this on the axle. So we're going to select that surface right there. We're going to come over here to reference geometry, and we're going to say a mate reference, and we're going to establish that face, and we're going to say check. That's pretty cool. So we got that one. All right. Now we got to tell what kind of material it is. So this right now, we're going to edit material. It's going to always bring up the steel, and what we want to select is AISI stainless steel sheet right there. That's what we want to select. We're going to hit that, apply it. We're going to hit close, and so there we have it. Our part is drawn. Our part is modeled correctly. Now we're going to have to come back and put this in our assembly. We'll do that in the next video.